Hi everyone, I'm here to explain to you the storytelling canvas. When you have a great idea, you have to be able to explain it to people in a way that is convincing enough for them to understand it and also fall in love with it. When we love something so much, so deeply, when we create anything, when we have an idea, when we have a company, when we find out how we can make the world better, we sometimes tend to fixate in many of the details that maybe people don't necessarily want to understand firsthand. But by doing this, you're missing that human connection, which is where you are your most influential self. And that is what you want. You want to be able to influence, you want to be able to move people with your story, with your idea. You want to make them fall in love with what you're doing as much as you are in love with it. Effective storytelling is what allows us to be able to communicate our very complex idea to people so they understand it and they, like you, fall in love with it. Through the use of the storytelling canvas, you will be able to break down your idea and then put it back together in a cohesive, influential structure that will make you master the skills of storytelling in no time. The storytelling canvas that I'm going to be explaining to you is based on the work of Victoria Masso, and it has been modified to be able to be used for the ITU. This is how the canvas looks like. And if you're familiar with any of the canvases that are used in business, it basically follows the same format. Very simple. It asks you for idea, your goals for the presentation, the common ground, support stories, destination, proof, and call to action. And then all this that we're going to have here is going to be put in the structure. Don't worry, I will tell you more about this. How we will approach this canvas is by using a design thinking approach, which means that our ideas, goals, destination, and all those areas, we're going to be using sticky notes to complete it. And yes, there is color coding so you can follow through. And then all this is going to be transferred to the structure. ITU has created this very interesting fact sheet that basically breaks down everything that I'm explaining to you, and you'll be able to download it from the website. I'm going to go through each one of them, and then once you finish all of this, so you can see them here, you're going to put them in the structure. This structure is based on the work of Nancy Duarte. Again, it has been slightly modified for the purpose of the ITU, but this is what it's based on. And here you can see the colors. We have yellow for proof and common ground. Then you have blue, which is idea, destination, call to action, red for problems, and green for solutions. Here we go. So ultimately, this is how it's gonna end up looking. So let's go through each one of them. First, we want to talk about the idea. The idea has to be something very short that explains what it is that you are trying to achieve. Is it that you're trying to end poverty in a particular place? Do you want to create connections? What is it? And it has to be an explanation that is no more than 50 words. Then you have the goals. Is the 3 goals that you aim for the presentation that you're going to be having. This means that it could be anything from convincing people and creating awareness to getting investment for your idea. So what are those goals for that presentation that you're having, for that story that you're telling? Common ground, it's so important. That's where you make that emotional connection between you, your idea, and the person that is listening to you. What do I mean by this? This means that you have to be able to find what you have in common, or what does your idea have in common with the people that you're talking to. By the time you wrote the goals, you should have already identified who you're talking to, who you're trying to convince, because you have to figure out what the goals are, because that's what you want to get out of this conversation. So that common ground has to be based thinking about the people that you're going to be talking to. Who are they and what do they have in common? Is it that they all need water? Is it that they're all interested in changing the world? Is it that they all live in a certain area and they have the same problem that you're trying to fix? Find out what that is. Now you're going to get into the support stories. They are incredibly important because initially you have the proof, which, yes, is a lot of evidence that have to do with best practices, numbers, data, all the facts and data that you can find. And they have to be rooted in real, accurate, validated data. And we have to be able to explain this through stories, because stories connect to humans in a deeper level. If I say 20% of people are affected by this problem, is different to saying 20% of people are affected by this problem Let's see my friend Anna. Anna has been going through X, Y, and Z, and this is the issue that she's having. And now you can talk about the solution. This is how we think we can help our friend Anna. That will be a support story for Anna for the solution. So you have to think about how you can explain the problems and the solutions in the way of stories. The destination is where you want to take people to. In the next 5-10 years, how does the world look like if your idea has been adapted by everyone you want to have involved in this? How does that look like? So paint a picture. That's the destination. That's where you want to take people to. And lastly, you have call to action. What do you want people to do after they listen to you? This is so important because sometimes after you've done all this, then you got people very, very excited, and then people don't know what is it that you want them to do. Do you want them to invest? Do you want them to connect? What is it? So be very clear on what is the call to action that you're looking for the people that are listening to you to do. Now we're going to go into one of my favorite parts, the structure. So we've seen how the color coding works. And as you're building each one of the sections, if you follow the color coding, it will be very easy to then transfer that information to the structure. If you look at the storytelling structure, you can see that it starts with what it is, and then it takes you to what it could be. Then you go back to the status quo, and it takes you to that road of up and down, ending in the destination, the new norm, and a call to action. What is happening with this is that it's taking the listener through a ride where emotions go up and down, and that makes it be more influential. So what we did here is that what we're going to do is that we're going to transfer those sticky notes to this. And that means that you're going to be able to put anything that has to do with what's now. So it could be proof, it could be common ground, it could be the problem. What is it? Problem stories. What is it? What is it that you're going to put here? It could be anything. This is just an example of how it could look like, but yours can look in any way. It doesn't have to look like this. Then you talk about the future, which could be your idea. It could be, again, more proof. It could be anything. It could be the solution. It could be anything you want here that has to do with the future. Then we go back to the current situation. So it's the same idea. We talk about proof. We talk about problem. How is it that you want to talk about today? What's happening today? And then again, we go to the future. We go to the present. We go to the future. And at the end, you finish with the destination, where is that you want to take people, and a call to action. Working in this particular way will allow you to follow your story without having to create a script or memorize anything, just following the colors. And this is great because one of my main recommendations is for you not to have a script, because scripts kill emotions. And by killing emotions, that means that you're not connecting to a deeper level, which is, again, the whole point of storytelling. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, just email innovation@itu.int and we will answer any questions you may have. Have a lovely day. Bye.